Hello everyone, today we're working on the steam engine. It's a 462, it's Japanese. I sold a very boring C62 and I bought this with the money. And the C62, it was all black. This is a C57, so if it's a 462, it was all black. But just look at this thing. That is very ornate. There's a lot going on here. So it's a non-runner. It's got, also it's a microwave. It's microwave. It's a non-runner, so it's got a short circuit. I'm hoping it's like last week that I had an engine with a short circuit. I'm hoping it's a part that's out of place. So this thing is absolutely beautiful. Definitely worth fixing. That's got a myriad of extra details. Look at this little cooler line that was added. So I've got to take this apart and find out what's going on. But this should be a good runner. To be honest with you, I'm not sure where to begin, but everything looks to be there. So we're gonna find out. These little flags, you can't tear them out because they're very malleable. So that's good. I'm not too sure the significance. Maybe it was a special occasion. At any rate, we're gonna tear into that. There's a little baggie with extra parts. I guess it's if you want to double head them. These tiny little decals are legible. These decals here, this is all legible. And this too. These tiny little decals here, they're legible. And that. So I guess to remove the shell, you just pull up on it like so. Well, that wasn't too hard. It got a little bit of dust on it. So I am going to go ahead and wash it. Here there's a little residue of something which makes it look grayish. But I think I'm not going to touch it. I think I'll just leave it like that. That's going to be passable. And the cab is kind of loose here. I don't know if I need to remove it or not. I'm going to take a look under magnification. It's got crazy nice details. These little, I guess they're pop valves. They're brass, so you can yank on them pretty hard and they don't break. But this one here is plastic, so be careful with that. An extra added on handrails. And these coolers here, it's a separate part. Look at how fine all these lines are. That is some fine details. Look at these lines, how fine they are. So that's all plastic, so be careful. And then the boiler front, that's got a lot of detail too. So I am going to wash this right now. I guess I'll wash the tender at the same time. So the tender feels like there's a little weight in there too. This is very similar to Kado, which is maybe a good thing. This one I bought it in Japan. Usually people in Japan take real good care of their trains. This one, I'm not too sure what happens. You can see it's missing a step here. So I'm not too sure what happened there. And also there's the same type of residue on the top here. Probably not going to change that. So I'm going to give it plenty of time to dry. And then we can work on our drive system. So this one's got a light, which is really cool. So I had a short circuit. Let's just take a look to see if it's still having a problem. Well, that was easy to fix. Even sounds really good. I'm running it on a very low setting. You can see the little light works even. So that was easy. Well, I guess this video is going to be just cleaning and lubricating. Maybe there was something wrong with the tender. That's always a possibility. So I'm going to clean and lubricate the drive system, and then we'll work on the tender. Wow, this is really cool. I don't have to get into this valve gear, so I'm going to avoid it if I can, because everything is good here. Like they say in the West, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there's extra, I don't know if this is glue or grease here, so I'm gonna tear into that. I guess. There's my short circuit. So that's pretty consistent. So that is glue here. I guess there was an issue with that part. So I have to tear this out. That's gonna take a while. I'm guessing that this was a little keeper and just held in place there by friction. I can lift this out. Here's my drawbar. And probably the issue was that these two contact strips were getting into the other side of the frame. You can see here that this is your side of the frame, and this brings the electricity from the tender. Very nice to have for a steam engine. Oh, I guess it was in the middle like that. Oh, everything's starting to make sense now. So yeah, if you put it in the middle, it could create a short circuit, and that would be bad. Now I've got it where it's supposed to go. See, before it just lines up in the middle like that, and that's no good. So you want them both each on their side, just like so. And then let's see if I still got a short circuit. That I'm curious about. So that was the only issue, this whole engine. The drawbar was not in its proper space. But this wheel wobbles a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can maybe help it. So I guess I am gonna have to tear into the valve train just a little bit. Let's see if I can get this number 3 driver out. Now you may want to sweep your floor before you get into this, because the pin that holds the rod is very small, and you do not want to lose this. It's very tough to manage. Like I said, you do not want to lose this. I think this gives you a good idea how small this is. So I'll put it in the box here. I'll give myself a winning chance. I might be lucky and not have to undo the whole drivetrain. Just a number 3 driver. And it's got traction tires. So definitely helps. I don't know too much the history of this engine, but I'm assuming that it would have hauled passenger cars. There. That's the same thing. Very small. You do not want to lose this. And then we'll undo these two screws, and that will release this bottom plate. These were not on there tight at all. I'm going to keep the screws together with the bottom plate. That's going to save me it's going to save me from looking at which screw goes where. They're magnetized a little bit, so that's going to help. And we can have a look at the little pilot truck. It's really cute, so that's going to get cleaned too eventually. Oh yeah, that's not too hard to work on. You can see each wheel has a bearing. So that is fantastic. And it's a split frame. I'm going to see if I can pull this number 3 driver out. Awesome. And then I'm going to put my plate back, just because I don't want the two other drivers to bounce out. And these have all gears in them, which means that they have to be timed perfectly, or else your engine won't run. There. I'll just put that aside for a second. And I'll see if I can keep this from wobbling. It's beautiful detail. This is such a beautiful engine. Yeah, this side wobbles. So again, as I pull it out, I want to be careful not to lose the small bearing. So I just want to see if I can help the wobbling a little bit. Maybe this is cracked. I don't think I need to go much further than that. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in it, just to say that I did something, because it ran good before. So that should be good. Now as I put it back, I'm going to be very careful to put it back straight. Oh, and have to be a quarter turn apart. That is also true. So I better be sure what I'm doing now. I'm going to lubricate this side too. Just a drop, that's all you need. So I got it to where it wobbles a little bit less. Not so noticeable anyways. Now I'm going to lubricate all the bearings one at a time. Just one drop is all you need. And I'm not going to put back the plate permanently yet, because I want to wash the front truck first. So I'll be doing that. I'll be washing the front truck, and then I'll button the back plate back up. This is all plastic, so it doesn't conduct the electricity, but I want it to be clean nevertheless, because it will just look better. Look at all the detail on these wheels. So that's all plastic. There's nothing, no weight on this, except for The wheels, which are metal, that's it. This is hard to hold together. Actually, that doesn't feel right at all. I guess they go like this. I'll know if I did it right when I put it on the track, because that looks good for now. So this thing ran fine. It just needs very minor oiling, just to say that I did something. This is the time to test it, because if you want to change something, I can feel it binding a little bit. So if it really is time to change something, because you're close to all your tools. So what I think it is, I think I'm too tight on here. So if I loosen it just a little bit, it won't bind as much. So I have to do it on both sides. I think it does need a little bit of slack. Oh yeah, this hits the spot. This I'm very happy with. I am gonna clean the wheels here. So I'm just gonna use my rag. I'll rotate it a quarter turn and I'll clean it again. So I'll do that 4 times. I'll just rotate it a quarter turn like that. Then I'll clean that part. So I'll do that 4 times. Now that it's running the way that I like, I'm gonna pop these little pins in. Can't really see what I'm doing, but I should be able to do it. Easy breezy, Japanesey. So final test on the bench before I keep putting stuff in. I tested both directions. That actually feels real good. Hours of fun. I can't help it, I really like running the engine on the bench like that. Still wobbles a bit, this number 3 driver, but I guess that's just the way it is. Well, alright then. I think that's enough tweaking. I think I've got it to where I want it to be. I'm gonna clean the trailing truck. I just wanted to show you the detail of the wheel. That's also pretty neat. And then these side frames are really detailed as well. That goes right back here. There's a little hole for it. Yeah, you can hardly see all those details. So the drawbar goes like this. Make sure to spread out those little contact pins. Very important. That's got a lot of tension actually. And just Just double check everything. Yep, that looks good. And then we'll bring in the little side frames. I guess they go like that. And then you bring in that little locking pin. I don't think I'm going to put any glue on it. I think it should just hold there, just unmodified like that. Because I handled them with care, I don't think it's going to come out. But I want to make sure that it can move though. So that is going to be good. The tender helps pick up electricity. So I want to take the time and be sure that that is extra clean. That was a big revolution in my world, to have the tender that picks up electricity. I think that that's what made the N scale possible, and a whole lot of fun. That is some good stuff. And I'm also gonna put the side frames with some soap and some water and my toothbrush, just to make sure that it's extra clean. Before I button everything back up, I'm going to put maybe a little bit of oil on my worm gear. There's 4 tabs, 2 on each side, that hold it together. I'm going to see if I can remove it without too much fuss. If there is too much fuss, I'll probably just leave it there. But since I have everything in my hands, it's going to be worth trying. Little grain of dirt here. I'm not going to be keeping that around. So then I have access to my worm gear. I'm going to do the same thing, give it a drop of oil. And then the same thing for the back. And one for good luck. Then I'll put the little holster back on there. Yeah, that was easy. And I suppose this fits right up on here. Oh, look at that, it's bent. Oh, it's bent just a tiny little bit. But that is lead, so it's pretty malleable. Oh, and my excenter rod let go. That happens from time to time. That's, I guess it's all part of the N scale fun. Okay, I got it. My block here is the wrong way around. This little pin here should be in the front, so I'll fix that. No problemo. Not even paying attention to my excenter crank, because that is just a routine around here. You know that, it's probably a good part of life. You only fix one problem at a time. I like, when I get to my job, I like to do that. First thing in the morning when I get to work, I like to fix a couple of problems. Without problems, life is boring. So I get up, get to work, try to fix a couple of problems. If I don't have any problems, usually people just bring them to me, so life is good. I like to have a couple of problems, not too many. I can only handle so much, but it does make life interesting to have a little bit. There. So that problem is solved. Let's see if this thing fits better now. I'm not sure, maybe it's supposed to go like that. I'm going to keep playing with it a little bit. Was it Abraham Lincoln that said that? Walk softly and carry a pair of vice grip. Anyways, that seemed to solve that. So that's going well. Now I have to attach the tender. So I don't have the instructions, so I don't know if these go inside or outside of these pins. But if I put them outside, if I put them inside, they seem to be too loose. So I'm going to put them outside. That way they have a little bit of spring action to force against them. So outside feels right. I couldn't screw it in on camera because I needed to focus. Then we'll put this one. This back one here is no problem. I don't have to focus too hard to do that. When I bought it, I thought it was a Kado, but after working on it, I have to say the microwaves is very close in terms of working principle and the way the parts fit together. It's very close to Kado. I don't know if they have an agreement or if everything in Japan works like that. Just take it back half a turn. So that's nice and loose. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I'm gonna go try it on the track like that, just to make sure I'm happy. That way if there's a problem, I don't have to take the shell off. My eccentric crank came off again. It's about 5 times that it's done that. So that's it. I've had enough of that. I'm gonna glue it in place. You have to use a toothpick just to be sure not to get any glue on your side rod. And I'm gonna do the other side the same way. Actually putting it in there, that is the easy part. I'm just not happy to have to redo it every 5 minutes. But that is not too hard to do. There. So that's gonna be the end of that. I'm gonna do the other one, the other side also. Here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna put some power to it. Oh wow, it is such a good runner. I'm really glad I got this. Look at that. That's perfect. Now all that's left to do is put the shell back on. Even though it has a lot of detail, it's still pretty easy to put back on, all things considered. Oh, my little weight I think is interfering a little bit. that's not good. I'm gonna see if I can improve it just a little bit. Well, anyways, like this it looks good. Let's see if it works good. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I'm gonna put the little square that holds my my tender back on. See, the other guy glued this. I'm starting to see why, but I'm gonna try to get away with no glue. I think I can do that. But I see why he glued it together. There, that looks good. Gotta line up everything. And now it's time to run some trains. On the second track, I'll be running this Kato USRA 282 Heavy. But that opens up the question, could you Americanize the C57? Sure you could, but you don't really need to, because there's always these really excellent American models around. You know, they run great and they're well detailed. So anyways, I'm gonna throw some cars behind it, and then we can have some fun. All the hard work is done now. Right now it's pulling 6 of the heavyweight cars. They call them heavyweights because they're hard to pull. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.